Actually, if you're reading journal articles about the results of psychological studies, you'll the only value out of these four values that you'll usually see is the standard deviation. You'll usually see the mean and the standard deviation together. So the standard deviation is what's almost always used to measure spread in psychological studies. I wanted to talk a little bit more about the advantages and disadvantages of these different measures of dispersion. We know that the range has the disadvantage of only measuring the distance between the highest and lowest values. And the variance also has a disadvantage. The disadvantage of the variance is the squaring makes it come out to a fairly high number. And since it comes out to such a high number, it's difficult to understand what it's really showing about the data. And the mean absolute deviation and the standard deviation don't have that advantage, don't have that disadvantage, because they don't come out to such a large number. Actually, the mean absolute deviation and the standard deviation usually come out to about the same number. Notice how here the mean absolute deviation is 7.2, the standard deviation is 9.61, so they're pretty similar to each other. And over here with a sample, the mean absolute deviation was 3, and the standard deviation was 4.53, so again, they come out to about the same number. And the mean absolute deviation and the standard deviation both have the advantage of showing you the average distance between each number and the mean. What I mean is, what these two values are showing you, the mean absolute deviation and the standard deviation, what they're showing you is about how far, on average, each number in the data set is from the mean. Let's think about that. The mean was 66. So this number is 6 away from the mean. It's 6 below. This number right here was 18 above the mean. It's 18 above the mean of 66. This number, the 56, was 10 below the mean of 66. So if you think about it, overall, these numbers in here in the data set are on average about this far or this far away from the mean. Both of these values give you a pretty good idea of how far each number is from the mean on average. So the disadvantage of the range is that it only shows the distance between the highest and lowest values. The disadvantage of the variance is that it comes out to such a large number, and it's difficult to understand what it's really showing about the data. And the advantage of the mean absolute deviation and standard deviation are that it gives you a sense of how far the numbers are from the mean on average.